tossing in the lobby, show me something, keep it saucing, tell nobody in your city, smoke exotics.
Hey Rosette, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to teach you dolls how to get a flawless drugstore foundation routine, including highlight and contouring. So yeah, let's just jump right ahead and get into it. So the first thing you always want to do with any foundation routine is prime. Since this is a drugstore routine, I'm going to go in with the Nivea Cooling Post Shaving Balm. This is an aftershave for men, but since it has glycerin in it, it's going to help keep your makeup intact all day, and I really love it. Now, I do have normal to combination skin, so if you have oily skin, a primer that you can go for is the Rimmel London Stay Matte Primer. That is really good for oilier skin types, so make sure you use that if you have oily skin. So now we're just going to apply this to our face. So the foundation we're going to be using today is the L'Oreal True Match foundation, and I got the color in 8. Normally I would use my Maybelline Dewy Smooth foundation in 355, but my local drugstore didn't have that, so I had to opt for this. But I did use this in my drugstore back to school makeup routine, and I really liked it. It is medium to full coverage, and it does give you a very flawless finish. So we're going to use this today, and the tool I'm going to be using is a Real Techniques Complexion Sponge. This sponge is bae, y'all. This sponge will save your life if you're a beginner, and we're just going to work this into our skin. So I like to dot the product around my face just to make sure I get an even coverage, and then we're going to go ahead and blend it out. And make sure that your sponge is damp, that way you get a flawless finish. So the concealers I decided to use today are the LA Girl Pro concealers. These concealers are only like $2, y'all, and when they say Pro Conceal, honey, they conceal. They conceal and they brighten up the face, and they have a creamy texture to them, so you can really work them in the skin and they look somewhat natural, but they're so easy to apply. So the colors I like to use are Toffee and Medium Beige. I'm going to go in with Toffee first. Toffee is closer to my skin tone, so I always like to use a concealer that is closer to my skin tone first, and then I like to brighten with a lighter concealer. Okay, so with highlighting, you want to go under your eyes in a downward triangle. So you want to go on the sides of your nose, up to the corner of your eye, and you want to fill that in. So that is your triangle. So down, up, and then fill it in. We're going to go down the bridge of our nose, on our forehead, on our cupid's bow, and then on our chin. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the medium beige color, and we're going to go under our eyes, on our forehead, and on our chin. And then what I like to do is blend out the concealer, then work on my contour, because I like for the concealer to really warm into my skin and really melt into my skin before I set it. That is a quick pro tip for you not to get creasing throughout the day. If you let the concealer sit into your skin and warm up to your skin before setting it, trust me, your creasing will be minimum. So we're going to take our Real Techniques sponge and we're going to blend this concealer out. And make sure you're like using dabbing motions, light dabbing motions. You don't want to swipe and you don't want to press too hard. If you press too hard or swipe, you will remove some of the concealer and you will mess up the coverage of the concealer. Now we're going to go ahead and go on to contour. My favorite drugstore contour is the NYX Conceal and Correct contour palette, and I am in the shade Deep. So what we're going to do is take the darkest color right here and start marking our territory for our contour. So we're going to start under our cheekbone, under our jawline, and then we're going to make marks on our temples and our forehead. You want to make a line right under your cheekbone. And then the best way is to mark upward. You want to add some on your jawline and you want to mark downward. This way, if you make these marks, those are the direction that you want to blend in. I like to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks on my forehead. For our nose, I like to go from my crease down. Some people go from their eyebrows down, but I like to go from your crease down because it's going to look more natural that way. And remember to press and kind of flick upward. So with your jawline, you want to press and kind of flick downwards. Now with your forehead, you want to blend back into your hairline so you don't have any gaps with your hairline color and your contour. So you want to press and flick backwards into your hairline. Your nose, you just want to dab it out until you get the desired blend that you want. So this is how everything should look once everything is blended out. And again, you want to take that side where you had your foundation and kind of just press over everything. This will just merge all the colors together so it's not looking blotchy. Y'all, before I got like money and stuff, you know, this was my favorite drugstore setting powder, and it is the NYX Set It Don't Fret It Matte Finishing Powder. Y'all, it is like so smooth, like it will make your under eye look flawless. So always make sure you're working with a damp sponge. So the first thing you want to do is blend out your concealer first. You don't want to add powder if it's already creasing. So you want to make sure you blend out those creases and then add your powder. You just want to pack this powder everywhere you highlight it. So I'm just going to go ahead and set my contour, and to do that I like to use this Black Radiance Custom Coverage Foundation Powder, and it looks like this. This is in the color Darker. I like to use this powder because it's a cooler tone, so whenever you're contouring and highlighting, you want to make sure, well, whenever you're contouring, you want to make sure that you're using a cooler powder because it's going to give your face a shadow, and that's what you want to make your face look slimmer. And we're just going to start carving out where we place that contour color. So we're going to go in with some more of that NYX setting powder, and we're just going to sharpen up that contour. So what I'm going to do is go in with this Black Radiance Pressed Powder in Golden Cashews, and I'm just going to pat this under my eye and everywhere I highlight it. So I don't know if you guys can see a difference on camera, but if you look at this eye, it's more flawless, more smooth, and this one, it looks kind of blotchy. So that is what a pressed powder will help. So we're just going to add this everywhere we highlight it. The blush I'm going to use is this Black Radiance Baked Blush in Plum Sorbet. This blush is gorgeous. It's like a plum pinky tone, but it has a little bit of shimmer to it, so it looks really, really flawless on the skin. So we're going to take a little bit and we're going to pat it on our cheeks and then go upwards. So the part that y'all been waiting for, highlighter. So I couldn't find a good highlighter, but I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Illuminating Palette, and it looks like this. This highlighter is very, very shimmery, so you have to be careful. But what's going to help with that is setting your face with a setting spray. I was going to pick up the Maybelline setting spray, but they didn't have it at my local drugstore. So I'm going to go ahead and spray myself with some spray my face with some Fix Plus, but you can use the Maybelline setting spray. So while your face is wet, that is when you want to add your highlight. That way it goes on super seamless and flawless. So I like to just mix all the colors together like this, dust off the excess, and add your highlight. Look at that. And since it is so shimmery, you have to be careful with how much you apply, or it will just look ghostly. So once you got that highlighter on, what I like to do is go back in with the brush that I use the pressed powder with and kind of just go over that highlight. That's just going to merge that highlight into your skin so it doesn't look like too dramatic and too over the top. And we're just going to pat that powder over it. Alright, you know, so that is the finished look. If you learned something from this tutorial, give me a thumbs up. And if you have any more questions on how to contour and highlight for your face shape, or just anything you have, any questions you have in general, always let me know in the comment section down below and I will make sure to get back at you dolls. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload from me, because I pretty much upload every day from now on. And I just want to say thank you dolls for watching, and I will see you in my next upload.
I will